Some images never leave you. For me, the one that sticks, the one that will probably always define Klay Thompson, is the 4 fingers. I'm not here to mock it or tear it down. Those 4 rings are real. He earned every one of them, and his fingerprints are all over that dynasty. But the moment itself, it's just too much drama to ignore. It didn't happen during the peak of the Warriors' reign. It wasn't some heroic night where Klay took over. It was a game against Devin Booker and the Suns where Klay went 0 for 4. Words were exchanged. Tempers flared. And Klay, looking for a kill shot in the conversation, raised those 4 fingers. 4-time champion. Who the hell are you? I think it's one of the most fascinating acts of on-court trash talk in the last decade. Nikola Jokic once asked Anthony Edwards why he was waving to the crowd while getting blown out. Edwards just looked at him, pointed at the scoreboard, and basically said, "You're going home. Why do you care what I do? Is Edwards better than Jokic? No." But that's the raw, simple logic of competition. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow isn't promised. You're fighting for right now. If you win, you can run your mouth. If you lose, you shut it. That's why pointing to past glory in an NBA argument often lands so awkwardly, almost funny. When Larry Bird trash talked, he told you what he was about to do. I'm going to make this shot right in your face. He was reaching into the future. Dragging the past into a present conflict, in this league, feels like an aging man trying to demand respect from a room full of younger guys who only care about what you can do tonight. It doesn't work. Later, on a podcast, Klay admitted he regretted it. "I'm not proud of that moment. I was playing poorly." Sometimes you look for a sense of security. We all have fragile moments. I believe that was the calm, reflective Klay talking. But calm isn't always the truth. Impulse, the split-second, oxygen-deprived, adrenaline-flooded reaction, shows you who an athlete really is when they feel powerless. And in that moment, Klay's first instinct was to pull out the old trophies. The Warriors dynasty core, Curry, Draymond, Kerr, and Klay, went through everything together from the mountaintop down to the valley. But when things fell apart, Klay's decline was the steepest, and his response was the least dignified. Kerr is the coach. Fans yell at him, but it's part of the job. Curry is the franchise cornerstone. He ages with a kind of grace. Draymond understood his role and tied himself to Curry, signing a deal that made sense for everyone. Only Klay, as the leg strength and pull-up touch abandoned him, became a man living in yesterday, repeating behaviors like the 4 fingers, demanding respect from everyone, whether they owed it or not. That tension largely wrote the ending between Klay and the Warriors. Warriors fans must feel something complicated. He absolutely deserves the title of Dynasty Hero. But he also bears real responsibility for the failures of the 23 and 24 seasons. In the context of a botched 2-timeline plan, nobody was a war criminal. But the ungraceful aging? Klay was the main character. As a shooter, Klay has one elite trait: the absolute confidence that his next shot is going in. That's the secret. Over a large sample, he still hit threes at a respectable clip. But anyone who watched those 2 seasons knows how the volatility, the shot selection, and the body language infected games. When the shot isn't falling, you can at least defend, but he'd hang his head and jog back, checked out. When the defense is also gone, you can at least stop shooting, but he'd keep firing away and disrupt the whole offense. And when all of that is spiraling and you still can't stop yourself, you can at least accept a bench roll, but he resisted loudly, making a tense locker room even more fragile. Let's just say it plainly. Late-era Warriors Klay Thompson was a lost, conservative figure ruled by a massive ego and a deep insecurity. Once he couldn't impose his game anymore, his unease made him reach for the old trophies as the basis for every demand. Whether staring down Devin Booker or negotiating with the Warriors front office, the message was the same. For Booker, it was shut up. For the front office, it was a starting role, minutes, and a big contract. The numbers didn't matter, 0 for 4, or that infamous 0 for 1-0 in a play-in elimination game against the Kings. The ask never changed, and the justification was always what he had done, not what he could still do. That's the gap between Klay's self-image and how the rest of the world saw him. Even in a league that worships legacy, almost nobody cared about the past as much as Klay did. Mike Dunleavy and the Warriors front office made that clear with their actions. It's hard to say how much of Klay's confidence came from the daily grind of real preparation and how much came from a cozy memory. I've made this shot before. There's a difference. The first is basketball thinking. The second is a man deep in a midlife crisis, soothing himself with nostalgia and expecting compensation for it. That nostalgia needed to be fed. After 4 long conversations with Steve Kerr, Klay reluctantly accepted a bench role, and in his mind, that was a sacrifice. A sacrifice that, even back then, had a price tag already attached. It was so large that even after an 0-for-1-0 performance where he couldn't handle the ball against Sacramento's perimeter, he still expected a massive contract as payback for that sacrifice, as recognition of his dynasty status. As for the lucrative deal the Warriors had already given him while he rehabbed from injury, that didn't matter. Klay's pride is immense, and no 1 or 2 contracts could fill the hole. The Warriors' silence during extension talks wasn't just about money anymore. Klay wanted that damn respect. Most fans might not understand on what grounds. The Warriors' front office understood perfectly and chose not to agree. Klay himself, we've said it, has a shooter's confidence. Now, in Dallas, he seems to be settling into a normal rotation. The sharpness is gone, but so is the chip. I hope it goes well for him.